Welcome to this learning unit about creating inclusive and adaptive PE lessons. Now that you have learned about the different motor skills that form the foundation of movement and play in young children, we continue with the topic of differentiation. Children develop in different ways and at their own pace. This applies not only to their motor skills, but also to how they prefer to learn, collaborate, and play. By considering these differences in movement activities, you can support each child in growing in their own way and enjoying physical activity. In this learning unit, we will introduce a couple of guidelines to cope with these differences. So, what is differentiation in physical education? And what does differentiation mean to you? Take a minute to think and reflect on this and write it down. Well, simply put, differentiation means adjusting our teaching so that every child, regardless of skill level, confidence, or physical ability, can participate, progress, and enjoy movement. It's not about making things easier. It's about making them fair and accessible and engaging for everyone. Every child in your class is different and have different needs and participate on different levels. Some children love competition, while others feel anxious about participating. Some need visual feedback for learning, where others prefer verbal feedback. Some children pick up new movements quickly, while others need more time and practice. Differentiation is about creating a space where every child feels capable, challenged, and engaged in a way that works for them. And that's a powerful thing. When we adjust activities to match children's needs and levels, we create positive learning experiences that build confidence and encourage lifelong movement. Why does differentiation matter? Why would you go through all the difficulties of adapting the exercises to the needs of all the children? In every PE class, you will have children with different abilities and confidence levels. Let's think about three of them. There is Liam, who finds coordination tricky. Then there is Sophia, who picks up skills quickly and gets bored easily because she is not challenged enough. And there is Noah, who always feels a bit nervous about joining in. If we expect them all to learn in the exact same way and perform the exact same exercises during PE lessons, Liam might probably feel discouraged. On the other hand, Sophia might lose interest, and Noah might decide to even sit out the complete class altogether. But here's the good news. Small adjustments can make a big difference. Differentiation isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about trying small changes that help each child find success at their own level. Some things will work better than others, and that's completely okay. The key in differentiation is to create an environment where every child feels encouraged to move, learn, and grow and feel successful. When we talk about making physical education accessible for all children, some concerns may come up. Maybe you've wondered about these yourself, and that's completely okay. The good news is that differentiation doesn't have to be overwhelming. In fact, as said before, small adjustments can make a big impact, and many strategies you're probably already using can be considered differentiation. It is all about teaching smarter. Let's take a look at a few concerns associated with differentiation and why it's easier than it sounds. One of the concerns is that it might sound like a lot of extra work. We all know how busy a PE lesson can be, so it's understandable to worry about adding more. But differentiation isn't about creating completely different lessons for each child. It's about small adjustments that help everyone engage at their level. Think about a warm-up drill. Instead of one version for all, you can offer a choice. Children can jog, skip, or run. No extra setup, just a little flexibility. Another concern, often heard, is that differentiation makes children do and learn different things. It's natural to think that treating everyone the same is the fairest way to teach. But fairness isn't about making things identical. It's about making sure every child has the opportunity to succeed. Think about a throwing activity. If one child needs a smaller ball or a closer target to feel successful, that's not lowering expectations. It's setting them up to improve. At last, a common mistake is to think that it will slow down your lesson. However, a well-structured PE lesson flows best when children are engaged. When activities are too hard, children may shut down. When they're too easy, they disengage. Differentiation helps keep everyone in that just right zone. So instead of spending time managing frustration, you get children moving, learning, and having fun. Of course, this might sound easier than getting it done. Let's look at simple, practical ways to bring differentiation into your PE lessons, starting with 3 easy strategies you can use right away. Now that we've seen how differentiation isn't about extra work, but about making small, meaningful adjustments, let's dive into 3 simple ways you can make PE more inclusive and engaging for all children. These strategies are easy to apply, and chances are you're already using some of them. We're going to look at 3 key approaches: adjusting the activity, adjusting the equipment, and adjusting the level of support. Think of these as tools in your teaching toolkit. You don't have to use them all at once, but having them on hand gives you flexibility when children need it. One of the easiest ways to ensure all children can participate and progress is by adjusting the activity itself. This doesn't mean creating entirely different lessons. It's about making small changes that help every child engages at a level that challenges them appropriately. It could be as simple as changing the rules, movement patterns, time limits, or ways to score to make sure children of all skill levels can take part and feel successful. First, modify the challenge level by offering different versions of the same task. For instance, in the example shown on the right, different versions on a balancing task are shown, using different levels of difficulty. Within each task, you can make even more variations, like stepping over several blocks or placing a tennis ball from one cone to another. Next, you can alter the game format to keep children engaged. For example, instead of elimination-style games, where children sit out after being tagged or missing a shot, allow them to re-enter by completing a small task, like 5 jumping jacks. This way, no one is left watching from the sidelines. Another example is shown on the right, where children being tagged are joining the tagger and stay involved in the game being played. You can also vary the playing space to make activities more inclusive. Adjust field sizes, boundaries, or movement pathways to help all children stay involved. For example, a smaller court might help younger players feel more confident, while a larger space might challenge advanced children. Finally, you can try to incorporate choice into your activities. Instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, let children decide how they complete a challenge or activity. On the right, you see an example of a forward roll activity. If this is still difficult or children are hesitant, you can let them choose their own way to roll down the mat. You can also give children the freedom to choose how they move through a set parkour, like the one shown in the video on the right, whether they crawl, jump, hop, or walk. So everything together, by making small adjustments like these, you're creating an environment where all children can enjoy movement, stay engaged, and continue to grow at their own pace. Not every child will succeed with the same equipment. A basketball that's too big, a target that's too far, or a racket that's too heavy can discourage children from trying. Modifying the equipment means using different tools to help children succeed at their level without changing the objective of the game or skill being taught. It ensures that children feel challenged but not overwhelmed. First of all, you can modify ball sizes to match different skill levels. A smaller, lighter ball can help children develop confidence in throwing, catching, or dribbling before they progress to standard equipment. In the video on the right, you see a box with different balls and beanbags, which you can, for example, let the children choose from. Another way to differentiate is to adjust goal sizes or targets to encourage success. Younger or less experienced players might use a larger or closer target, while advanced players can challenge themselves with a smaller or more distant one. For example, you can hang targets at different heights, so children can throw at their own level, like with the newspaper balls in the video. Or you can place hoops at various distances, allowing children to choose how far they want to throw. You can also use alternative implements to meet children where they are. If a child struggles with a standard tennis racket or baseball bat, try using a shorter, lighter version to help them build their skills. Lastly, incorporate visual aids to support learning. Cones, floor markers, or color-coded equipment can provide clear guidance on movement patterns or game rules, making activities easier to follow. In the video on the right, you see a simple example where different examples of floor markers help support the coordination of the movement and help ensure the movement is performed correctly. Sometimes children just need a little extra guidance to feel successful, whether it's physical support, peer coaching, visual demonstrations, or allowing different pacing. Adjusting the level of support ensures that no child is left behind. By adjusting the level OP support, you can provide different levels of assistance, so all children feel comfortable progressing at their own pace. One simple way to do this is by offering different levels of physical support. Depending on the child's level, you can vary the amount of physical support you offer, as shown in the example in the video. You can use materials like a stick or a rope, but sometimes simply reaching out a hand for the child to hold is already enough. Something easily organized during a lesson is using peer coaching. Pairing children together allows them to learn from each other, build confidence, and stay motivated. It's also possible to provide visual demonstrations that can make a difference in helping children. Some children may struggle to follow verbal instructions, so showing movements step by step can help them understand and replicate skills more effectively. It can be especially helpful to let other children demonstrate the example as shown in the video. Finally, encourage goal setting to help children track their own progress. Instead of comparing themselves to others, they can focus on personal improvement, whether it's increasing the number of successful passes, improving balance, or building endurance. Keep helping them look for their own progress and not compare themselves to other children too much. To wrap up, differentiation isn't about making things easier. It's about helping every child find success at their level and thereby create as many positive learning experiences as possible. Whether you adjust the activity, the equipment, or the level support, you're creating an environment where all children can grow, move, and enjoy PE. You might already be using many of these strategies in your lessons, and that's great. Don't worry if everything doesn't go perfectly right away. Small adjustments can already make a big difference for your children. Next, let's put these strategies into action with a real-life activity.